Hey everyone, welcome to the Discover Virginia podcast. I'm Joseph Trahan, your host for the #1 video podcast in Virginia, where we explore the rich history, vibrant culture, and iconic businesses that make our Commonwealth truly special and worth talking about. So get ready as together we discover Virginia. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Christine Gustafson, who serves as the Vice President of Marketing and Public Relations at the Breeden Company, a nationally recognized multifamily real estate development firm known for its innovative design and exceptional community experiences. In her current role, Christine strategically oversees all enterprises wide, ranging from marketing, advertising, corporate communications, all the stuff you see on social media, and so much more. And she serves as one of Breeden's trusted and reputable industry leaders. Christine also brings extensive experience as a Virginia Tech Hokie. Shout out to the Hokies out there. And from her previous role as a marketing director at Jones Printing Services. And she is complemented by over 15 years in diverse marketing capacities. And I am so excited to nerd about marketing with you. Christine, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we are so thankful to have you in the podcast studio today. Coming at you from Atlantic Bay, just right next door.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. I didn't have to travel very far.
Lovely. Yeah, Lynn Haven has it's the world of wonders. You got the mall, the strip, and all the great things that make Virginia Beach a great place to live, right?
Absolutely. It's a major thoroughfare, I think, in the area.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. And not as crazy as Witch Duck. Shout out to Witch Duck. We believe you when we see it. So Christine, for you, what brought you to the area originally? And of course, what got you to stick around and build your life and your career here?
So I'm a nomad. I'm a military child, but I'm also a military spouse. So I've spent my whole life coming in and out of Hampton Roads, growing as a human, but also seeing Hampton Roads grow as a geographic area. So I've been 5 years back now in Virginia Beach in the Hampton Roads area. And actually the Breeden Company is what, brought me back when we were moving. They reached out and said, we have this position. And it was something I really wanted, and I'm glad they wanted me. But the military has brought us here. My husband's active duty, so.
Wonderful. Well, thank you to your service as well as to his, of course. And we're glad that the Breeden Company convinced you. They just said, hey, free housing and you come work with us, right? So I'm curious, what initially interested you in marketing back in the day? Because I know you had studied a little bit of psychology, and I'm curious how your relationship with marketing has evolved over time.
So I stumbled into marketing. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but actually, if I go back on it, when I was studying at Virginia Tech, I wanted to be a therapist in the military realm. Something happened, a little traumatic during my master's, and I was 2 weeks out from completing my master's degree. So I completed my master's degree and said, I just don't think this is the field for me. And for anybody who is in the psychological therapeutic realm in any capacity, my hat's off to you. If you think being a military spouse is difficult, I think working in that realm is even more difficult. So, I really applaud people in the health industry. But, it was funny, while I was getting my master's degree and studying psychology and taking all these classes, I did have a few classes that involved marketing because there's a psychological aspect to it. And so I found a job just to kind of pay the bills and live after college. And as I was growing as an adult and finding out what I wanted to do, I interacted with some people in the marketing realm, and I thought, this is what I want to do. So I approach marketing from a psychological standpoint. It's a science. We call it a chaotic science. Sometimes it's like throwing spaghetti on a cabinet to see what sticks, but you got to do it. And so, that's just kind of how I got into the industry. And I'm also a yes man. I also believe that you say yes to every opportunity, and that's what makes you grow in your career and professionally. So I've had a lot of different opportunities to do a lot of different things, which I think now as an old lady, you look back and you go, wow, I feel well-rounded with what I know and can do.
Absolutely. And that's just the perks of getting older and getting more experience and wisdom, of identifying what doesn't work and what does work. Christine, thank you for sharing that. Sounds like you've had quite a lengthy journey in the marketing world. Do you mind if we nerd out about marketing?
Yes.
I know I've mentioned that before, but
okay. Let's do it.
Given your extensive total sidebar, Douglas Burdett Jet from the Marketing Book podcast?
Yes.
Okay, I figured as much. Yeah.
Yes.
He retired last year and I didn't know he was retiring. And I called him a month before.
Oh.
And I was like, Douglas, let me buy you a drink, brother. Like, let me like pour into me. I'm learning marketing. And he was like, hey, I'm doing 500 episodes, learn from those.
Yes.
And also I'm retiring. And I was like, come on, man. I was like, guest appearance. And he's like, you need to listen to more episodes first. So I'm like halfway through his 500 archive, which has been so much fun. But anyways,
very cool.
I was looking at that as I was preparing these questions. So given your extensive background in marketing, how do you balance adopting new technology trends while maintaining timeless marketing principles, such as storytelling and emotional resonance, to ensure that the strategies remain effective, but also human-centric as well?
Absolutely. I think, so that's kind of an octopus question with octopus answers. Number one of the major things to always remember is the why. When you're in marketing and you're thinking of the messaging, when you're thinking of the call to action, when you're thinking of the approach, it's, what's in it for me, for the end user. And I call it WIFM. And whenever we have those internal discussions, it's, that's what I bring up, WIFM for that person. Why are they going to care? Why do they want to talk to you? Why do they want to, what is it about you that makes them want to interact with you? So that's number one. Number two, sometimes, and it's funny because people 20 years ago, when I was interacting with them, would say, well, we're going to use things that are old school. And it's funny now, 20 years later, some of the things that I was doing 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, they're working again, and so sometimes it's like those bell-bottom jeans. You got to pull them back out, and it actually works.
What strategy like? Are we talking like sending pigeons? Sending mailers out?
I mean, mailers definitely. It does feel like pigeons, but mail can be cool again. One of the things that COVID did for us years ago was make us appreciate going to the mailbox. And so one of the tactics that we employ for some of our residential communities is sending out postcard mailers. But there's a science to it. They've got to be big. It's got to stand out. It's got to have a call to message or action. It's got to have good messaging. So, but it actually does work. And if you look at that ROI on it, you get a couple of people come in, sign leases for our apartment communities, 3 or 4, it's paid for that. So, you have to make sure that it's smart, but it is effective. So carrier pigeon.
That's so cool. Yeah. I always throw out pigeons. So Keith Toller, are you familiar with him? He's the director of tourism in Portsmouth.
Yes.
Yeah. Back when he was doing his campaign, he's like, we sent live honing pigeons to these business developers with like a little message on the job site.
Oh,
and he's
funny.
like, we got like 3 developments off of a honing pigeon. I'm like, what year was this, dude? It was like, it was back in the 70s. I'm like, what? Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But, marketing is innovative. And it's so fascinating too, because it relies on human psychology as well. So I'd love to unpack the AI aspect of it next.
Okay.
With the rapid rise in AI and data-driven analytics, do you believe marketing principles are shifting away from the emotional and psychological understanding towards pure data optimization? Or is the core of marketing still fundamentally just getting people for who they are?
I think that it's a combination of both. One of the things is that AI is cool. So everybody's talking about it right now. But what people have to remember is that AI is a learning tool. And so it I call it the Google monster. And so AI is, as much as you feed into AI or whatever mechanism you're using, it has to learn what you're wanting from it. And it's learning that communication. It's learning what it needs to feed back to you to give you the best result. So I am very conservative when it comes to AI use. I think there's benefits to it because in marketing, genius doesn't happen 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. A lot of times genius happens at 2 a.m. when you wake up and you go, oh my gosh, I have an idea. Genius happens in the shower when you have an aha moment. So I think when you aren't feeling those genius moments 9 to 5, AI is a good source to go to help you with that. But I don't think that it's the end all be all because AI doesn't know the laws. It doesn't know all of those caveats that in real estate and brokerage that you have to say or do or know. So again, it's just, a fine balance.
Yeah.
Everything in
absolutely.
moderation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had to stop myself there because I said AI, but I know the term is now moving away to LLMs,
Yes.
large language models, because people have overused the word AI, and it's confusing and scary. Yes. So, but the larger language models. So do you think there will be a point at like they input all the knowledge that they like a trained broker would need, or a real estate broker, whether it's residential, commercial real estate, that the language model would comprehend that?
Maybe, possibly. I mean, I think down the line,
Sure.
you look at, the Jetsons was something good for us. Wall-E was something good for us.
Still waiting for flying cars,
right,
but yeah,
exactly. So
we got our LLM.
I think that there is potential for all of that, but it's scary because if you rely too much on that, what's the need for the human?
Right.
And I think there are, I believe in iRobot. I think robots are great. I think all of these programs are great, but at the same time, sometimes it doesn't beat the human mind, and you have to know, a robot doesn't know our species. So I think that it's important, again, everything in moderation, but I hope we don't go to a full reliance on that model.
Yeah. I definitely foresee like people pushing it to its limit.
Mm-hmm.
We already see that now, like, other countries are now battling for it,
Absolutely.
like I think China has their own model as well.
Absolutely.
And so it's so fascinating too, because it's like, we're racing to just see like until it breaks. Right. But ultimately, and this is my personal belief, is like the large language models are kind of like the apps on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, if you don't see the value in it and it doesn't connect you with other people or get you what you need, you're not going to use it.
Correct.
So I think there will always be that human connection as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll watch this back in 10 years and see. But
be like, wow, that was so antiquated. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right. Like, what were you thinking using LLMs in the podcast? All right. So when we look at this portion of multifamily marketing,
Mm-hmm.
what are the key differences you've observed from that perspective compared to other real estate sectors as well when it comes to messaging in general? I know you mentioned the mailers. So
Correct. I think sometimes the avenues intersect and then they kind of pull away and then they intersect again. And you see that, again, as somebody who's been in the industry a long time, you kind of see that happen depending on what the market is doing. But in multifamily residential, it's all the same thing. It's 4 walls, a ceiling, and windows. And that's kind of different from, traditional single family homes because, there's some character there. There's some personality there that could be different home from home. So it is, you have to set yourself apart in multifamily residential. You really have to stay ahead of the trend. You have to find out what's next. And you have to give people a reason to want to stay there because sometimes, you are fighting for the neighbor, to the neighbor next to you or down the street. So
Sure.
you've got to make sure you're very creative.
Absolutely. Are there any examples or campaigns that stand out to you as being one of those defining moments for you all at the Breeden Company saying, hey, here's how we're going to differentiate ourselves? Because ultimately it's the same 4 walls, and when I was looking for apartments, like for me personally, I was like, oh, the amenities, the benefits, like is there a pool? Is there a gym? And my wife is like, we have $900. This is pre-COVID. We have $900. Where's the cheapest one? And we ended up staying with a Breeden Company because it was very, very economical as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So a couple of things. One is at the Breeden Company, we love animals. Mr. Breeden himself is an avid animal lover. And I think if you talk to anybody who works there, they have a pet, love a pet, know a pet. So when it comes to the residential side, one of the things that we set ourselves apart with is we have programming specifically for pets. And that's one of the things is so many people have pets. And if you don't love pets, just ignore what I'm going to say. But so many people love pets. And so there's one thing that is crazier than a human parent, as I tell everyone, and that is a pet parent.
Sure.
If you have a pet and you go into the dog store or you go into the, doggy daycare, they may not know your name, but as long as they know your pet's name, you're like, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah. There's sprinkles. Yeah. Like, okay,
that's fine.
They're good
That's
people.
good, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the same thing as with your human child. So we partner with somebody, it's called Bark Buildings, and they provide pet programming. So they provide treats for all of our offices, which makes it fun because now when residents are walking their dogs, you'll see the dog start pulling the resident to the office to get a treat, which is so cute. We have move-in gifts specifically for the pets, and that's dogs and cats. And then we have a pet of the month where they get a bark box, the specific, and then they get put on our social media for the communities. So
that's clever.
We have fun.
What's it called? Bark Box?
Bark Box is the bark, but the program or the company we partner with is Bark Buildings. And then once a quarter, they bring an associate and we do a resident event. It's only for the pets. We don't want the humans there. It's not meant for humans. It's meant for the animals. So like our last one for all of our communities was Bark Madness, and they did trading cards. And so we did a photo shoot with the pets, and then they each got made into trading cards. So
there you go.
Pretty genius.
And then a lot of your sites also have pretty big dog parks too.
They have,
right? Built in on the facility as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, everything was already there. This just kind of took it up a notch. So that's one of the things.
So for all you pet owners out there, if you're looking for a place to rent, the Breeden Company has you covered when it comes to all your pet's needs. So just hit up Christine or comment woof down in the comment section below. I'll send you over the details.
Oh, and let me tell you, 3 pets per home at most of our communities.
Up to 3.
Up to 3, and no weight limit. So you could have 3 Great Danes in your home with you.
That's important to know too, because most private renters that ask the weight, and they'll also ask about insurance.
Yeah, that's right. So, and we do have some breed restrictions, but the weight limit is a big deal. So, yeah.
Very, very cool, Christine. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. As we look to the future of multifamily marketing in general, in your opinion, what marketing trends do you see being more of a significant impact on how the real estate sector really begins to continue to advertise itself as we move ahead the next couple of years?
I think, again, it's name of the game is what does your community have that your neighbor doesn't have? And it's all about being creative. And so, what is it that makes someone say, I really want to live here? Because it's someone's home. Home is important. It's a primal need. You got to remember, and I'm kind of going back into psychology a little bit, shelter, food, and water are 3 basic needs for humans. Now, some of our shelter is nicer than others, and that's okay, but it's what makes someone feel like they come home every night and they love where they live. And so that marketing really revolves around the experiential marketing of, from the touch points of when they first meet somebody at our communities, are they greeted? Does it feel like it's a nice, warm interaction, to the move-in experience, to the, work order experience? That's one of the things about apartment communities too, is something breaks, you make a phone call and someone's there in, 24 hours.
Right. Yeah. You see them on their golf carts riding around.
So nice. Yeah. So it's really focusing on experiential marketing and customer service, just making sure that customer service is there. I think that's one of the things in marketing in general that I see, and it doesn't matter the field, is that customer service kind of started to go away. It went from having operators to automated systems, and you'll probably find yourself talking on a system and you just go agent, or you're just hitting 0 to try to
representative.
Yes, agent. And so we really want to, make sure that we have that human touch, that human connection and customer service. And so that's something else that we are honing in on.
Christine, I'd love to talk Breeden Company next. Okay. Quite arguably the largest and most influential multifamily commercial real estate company here in the Virginia Beach area. I mean, you guys have done wide-ranging projects. You have obtainable housing for multiple price points and price ranges, all the way down to the most creative project I think you've done, but love to hear if I'm missing one, where you partnered with iFly Virginia Beach with Bob over there to build an iFly and a parking garage, and housing, so that way you could justify to the city why they needed an indoor skydiving facility, like a couple hundred feet from the beach.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yes. So that is Aqua on 25th. And yes, iFly is, it's all over the country. And this was a project that was spearheaded by our owner, Tori Breeden. And, you think about iFly, it is a wind tunnel in the ground. And so you have to dig 30 feet into the ground. And if you've ever been to the ocean front of Virginia Beach and you're on the sand and you start digging, you get a little bit in and water starts coming up.
Right.
We're at sea level. So imagine trying to dig 30 feet into the ground. So that really, to develop and get iFly where it is, it was some modern marvels of construction to figure out how to keep the water at bay, to get the wind tunnel in and get it to where it is now. But yeah.
Such a fascinating project as well. I almost think of it like when VDOT does the tunnel expansions as well, because that's the same
mind-blowing
principle. I mean, you got this machine just like literally carving a hole into the dirt. It's like one of those worms off of the Dune books. Like just carving a hole.
I have questions. I mean, like, how are they keeping the water away? Like, I want to know more news channels. I'd like for there to be a documentary or something. Like, I have a lot of questions. How is this happening?
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't just send me the pictures. Like, I want to know more about this science here. So I know you guys are, for those unfamiliar with the Breeden Company out there, do you mind just giving us a top to bottom what it does, what it represents to the Hampton Roads community?
Absolutely. So the Breeden Company was founded almost 65 years ago.
I was about to say 60 years. I have in my notes, but it's almost 65 now.
We're almost at 65 now. Time goes by fast. And it was founded by Raymond W. Breeden Jr., who is a Richmond native but moved to the Hampton Roads area. And he himself is an entrepreneur. He had done a couple of things. He is someone who I call has a fire in his belly. He's always wanted bigger and better and more, and he's always wanted to help people, especially and pets too. But he, just had a vision to create a company to build houses at first. He started, now again, this is 1960. Okay. So he worked out of the back of a grocery store. He used milk crates as a desk. He had a little Pontiac convertible that he put all of his papers in the trunk. And that's how he started the Breeden Company. And he decided, I'm going to build a house. So he built one house. He sold it, and then he got that money and he built two, and then two turned into four, and just so on and so forth. So just replication. But the Breeden Company has been here since 1960, and over time it's developed to have three major pillars, which is commercial real estate, so shopping centers, primarily grocery store anchored. We have developed, we own, and we manage about 2 million square feet of commercial space throughout Virginia, but a lot in Hampton Roads. And then we have a general contracting arm, Breeden Construction. And for us, or for Breeden Construction, they develop more for third party, other owners and developers. They have worked up and down the Mid-Atlantic, but there's so much to be done in Hampton Roads in Virginia, with the focus right now a lot on affordable housing. So working with a lot of the municipalities to develop affordable housing with them. And then our third pillar is Breeden Property Management, which oversees management of approximately 10,000 multifamily residential homes, again, throughout Virginia, but a majority of them in Hampton Roads, since it's our core.
Absolutely. Such a big impact on the local community.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. I'm curious, what key factors or values that passed on from Junior Breeden to now, modern day Breeden Company at the office that you guys have? What key factors or values have contributed most significantly to the success and the expansion of the business?
One of the things, a couple of things there. Again, you'll ask a lot of octopus questions. I like this.
Life is so complex.
I know,
straightforward question. If we had a math wizard on, we could just do direct.
I feel like I need a wizard hat right now. One of the things Mr. Breeden's passionate about is making sure he has the right team in place. And so, when you look at the executive leadership, my cohorts, each one of us has a talent and an expertise in our realm. And I always say, each part of us is a cog in that system, but we work so symbiotically together to create and continue the growth of the Breeden Company. Mr. Breeden and Tori, they want to see us grow, and so that's what we do. And so we're always, Tori's out there looking for projects, looking for land. What else can we develop and build? But the other part of that octopus question is, we very much believe that if we are going to build a community, we need to be in the community. And so we believe a lot in community involvement. And so that can be donating dollars, but it's also donating time and energy to organizations. We focus a lot on arts because that's dying. It's dying in schools, it's just dying in neighborhoods. So we believe a lot in the arts. We believe a lot in education, especially public school education. And then we also believe in protecting animals. So we're very passionate about working with humane societies, SPCAs, nonprofits to make sure that animals have voices.
Yeah. So cool. And I appreciate you highlighting that it is an octopus question, because Breeden Company is so vast in its size and its impact. It's like one of those things. It's like, yeah, well, what part do you want to talk about, right? Because it's so immersive. And I mean, that's why we wanted to have you on the show too, because, what we love to discover about Virginia is just why it is such a great place to live, work, and also play. And Breeden Company provides a lot of those options as well. As we look ahead to, let's look at the construction arm, shall we? So as we look ahead to further developments and projects throughout the Breeden construction side, what can folks be on the lookout for, as well as for residents, as we look ahead the next 5 to 10 years?
So we are focusing, everything ebbs and flows. The Breeden Company is finishing development of 4 multifamily projects here in Hampton Roads, but we have our eyes set primarily on the Richmond market next. And one of the things that's so crazy about Virginia is that there's so much opportunity out there to build new homes and new places for people. And so we just continue to find those opportunities and just neat development opportunities. So we're focusing on Richmond, working through a couple of those projects and hoping to, get a digger into the ground at the end of the year up there.
Very cool. We're going to take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with you here shortly to talk about life here in the Virginia Beach area and a fun game that I just told Christine about literally 2 minutes ago that we're going to test out. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, Michael here from behind the camera. Right now we're taking a quick break to acknowledge and thank our wonderful studio host, Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group. When it comes to getting information and guidance on financing your next home purchase, we recommend talking with Atlantic Bay. They are one of the original lending institutions in our home city of Virginia Beach, and have a long resume of getting the job done well and making your home buying experience more enjoyable. So, if you're looking to experience Virginia full-time, consider checking them out today at www.atlanticbay.com. Disclosure: loan programs may change at any time with or without notice. Information deemed reliable but not guaranteed. All loans subject to income verification, credit approval, and property appraisal. Not a commitment to lend. Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group, LLC, NMLS number 72043, NMLSconsumeraccess.org is an equal housing lender. And now, back to today's show.
So, Christine, I want to turn our gaze next to living here in the Virginia Beach area. Okay. I say area because originally the show started as Discover Virginia Beach, but I quickly learned there are so many wonderful things happening outside of the zip code.
So many.
It's not fair to just say Virginia Beach after doing projects in Norfolk and Richmond and also the Eastern Shore. We're just throwing everybody in the loop. It's Virginia.
Yes.
So I'm curious for you, what are some of the benefits to living here in and around the Virginia Beach area when it comes to daily life and recreational activities for the locals?
I mean, there is something for everybody here in Hampton Roads. It's, if you're not somebody who likes sand in your bathing suit at the beach, it's okay because there is a river, there is a lake. One of the things that I love about the Hampton Roads area is there's so much nature. Yeah. The other thing that is just so cool, I have a 10-year-old at home, and he is discovering this. And when I was an intern in college, I worked at the Virginia Beach Visitor Center. But I talked a lot about history. I mean, when you think about the history of our country, it all started here. And, you have things like Cape Henry Lighthouse, where when they came over across the ocean, they stopped here and said, oh, let's move here. And it was too open, so that's why they went up the river. And so Jamestown and Yorktown and Williamsburg get all the credit, but it all happened here. If you love history, this place is great for history. There's so many battlefields. They're out in Chesapeake. They're at the, on the bay. And then military. I mean, Norfolk has the largest base in the entire world. So you can jump on a tour boat and go check out military. I mean, there is just, if you have visitors coming or for you yourself, you're like, what is there to do? And then the festivals. I mean, we're in festival season. It's spring. There's so many things happening every weekend. And it's hard to keep track sometimes. And it's kind of, you'll double book yourself, but, it could be worse.
Absolutely. So much to cover. On the subject of festivals, is there one that sticks out of your mind as one of the hallmark festivals that a newcomer has to experience when they're coming to the Virginia Beach area?
I mean, I hope nobody yells at me for having a favorite. I do have a favorite.
Let's hear it.
But my favorite is the Neptune Festival Boardwalk Weekend.
Yeah.
And it's actually in September. It's at the end of September. And it's after, all the visitors have gone home.
After tourist season.
Tourist season. But it is a sight to see and just to come and visit. But it's just tents set up along, almost a 2-mile stretch of the Virginia Beach oceanfront on the boardwalk. And you just go from tent to tent to tent of these different craftsmakers and artists and, glass blowers. And you just see so many things. And it's actually, I go for, to find my holiday presents for family and friends, but there's such an opportunity. But it's great to see neighbors and friends or colleagues out there. And there's also food. I love food. But I think that's the one that I look forward to every year the most. So shout out to Neptune.
I love
Festival.
it. I get so excited talking about this because my wife likes to take the kids out and do more family stuff. And I'm like, I'm like in work mode. I'm like, just set it up. Like there's plenty to do. Just pick one. And so it's amazing when we finally get out because there's just so much to do on the ocean front. The festivals kind of bring everyone together from like the local skating community, the local art community. And then you got the Christmas mouse right there for Christmas.
Oh, everything.
It's just kind of like that
and you have
perfect
holiday
setup.
Lights, you drive on the boardwalk. Who can drive on the boardwalk?
Cool.
So it's so cool.
They do it in North Carolina, but
that's okay.
It's not safe.
It's the coolest here.
It's the coolest here, yeah.
But you can have,
ours is paved,
in the holidays, you can go to the oceanfront and go do holiday lights. You can go over to Norfolk Botanical and walk through, which is absolutely gloriously beautiful.
Yeah.
There's just, no matter the time of year, there's just something to do, somewhere to go. And I think that's one of the things that makes this area one of the coolest.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you 100%. Christine, if someone was looking to move, let's say to the Virginia Beach area, what's one piece of knowledge or advice you would want them to have or to consider before they actually moved here?
Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to get probably yelled at too for this one. But I think one of the things, again, being military, in high school, I grew up in the Sandbridge area of Virginia Beach. And so, again, you come back and you see the growth and the expansion of those areas. And I think one of the things to always keep in mind is Virginia Beach is huge. There's just so many different pockets.
There's 46 neighborhoods.
Yes, it's bananas. So I think when you're moving to the area and you want to figure out where you are wanting to live and work, it's thinking about, how far are you from maybe where you live to where you work.
Sure.
One of the things I think I hear a lot of times when we talk about that Sandbridge area is it's beautiful and serene and quiet, but if you're going to get to the airport, it might be 45 minutes with lights.
It's so far though. Yeah. And then there's the swamp.
Yeah. So, you gotta take things into consideration. So, but I think again, there's the little pockets, like you were saying, there's something for everybody. You've got quiet and serene. You have the hubbub of town center. You have the north end on the bay. So there's just, again, there's living for everyone. But I say, people today are smart, and thank you to the internet, but people are very educated before they move. They're educated maybe on a school system or shopping zone or whatever it may be. So they're really researching before they start to move about the area. So do your homework.
Absolutely. Do your homework. And whether that's renting or buying, one of the great resources we love to put together for our folks is called the Discover Virginia Beach Facebook group. Mm-hmm. So it's a Facebook group. We have right around 50,000 members across our different groups, but that one specifically is tailored to getting you information, real-time data with experts like Christine to figure out, is it better to rent or to buy? Where are the best coffee shops? How far do you need to be from work or the airport? And I update that every day to make sure that I'm getting directly in touch with you guys to give you the resources there. So if you haven't yet joined, feel free to join that community. We'd love for you to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
What is your favorite neighborhood in Virginia Beach? If you had to pick one, and let's say the one that you would have to live in the rest of your days in time in Virginia Beach.
This is difficult. You're
I know.
really
It's
putting me
a
into
hard
some
one.
corners here, Joe. Well, I'm not giving you one. I'll give you two.
Okay,
When
that's fair.
I was a young child growing up, I grew up in the Great Neck section, and I went to Trentwood Elementary. So I love some Great Neck Road. I lived in the Wolf Snare neighborhood, and I drive through it now. And I think that neighborhoods like that are timeless, you know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so I love that. And then, of course, when I moved back, growing up in that Sandbridge, courthouse area of Virginia Beach, I grew up off of Seaboard Road, and I went to Kellam High School.
Okay. Yeah.
And it makes me a little sad because when we moved there, it was very rural. A lot of cornfields, a lot of cows, and you don't have that anymore. So I'm sad to drive through that area, but also it's nice to remember those days, you know. And even Kellam High School is not the Kellam High School I went to. I went to the old Kellam High School. But I love that area. There's something about driving through, especially at the courthouse. It is just beautiful and relaxing. And you talk about the coffee shops and the little restaurants, and it has all of that. And it has the history too.
Absolutely.
So that's one of my favorites.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you for sharing that. If there was one thing that you could change about the city and the dynamic overall, what's one thing that you would change for the better?
I think it's a work in progress, so I wouldn't say change, but one of the things that is a conversation of passion for a lot of people is affordable housing.
Sure.
And, you look at rents or you look at mortgages, and sometimes, you just go, wow, I can't believe it's that much. So I do appreciate the city of Virginia Beach having conversations, and as well as Norfolk and Portsmouth, everybody's having conversations to figure out ways to create affordable housing opportunities. And it doesn't have to be multifamily. It can be single family residential. And there are lots of opportunities out there. Again, you just have to keep your ear to the ground to know what they are. But I appreciate officials talking with us, listening, because from a development standpoint, if you're a home builder of any sort, it costs a certain amount to build. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's, for example, on a smaller scale. Prices are prices to build. And so you've got to be able to make that money off of the build to get it to fruition. So,
gone are the days of the Sears catalog,
yeah,
right?
Gone are the days. Even the little Amazon pods, I don't hear much about them anymore. But, so I appreciate the ever-evolving conversation in the area.
Yeah, one of the things that we're most passionate about for our show and our platform is really educating and informing individuals about the difference between obtainable housing and affordable housing.
Yes.
Shout out to John Moss, regardless of political affiliation. We had him on the show while he was running for mayor of Virginia Beach. Didn't get it, but Bobby Dyer's there currently, but he worked to enlighten us on our show about the difference. So obtainable being for an individual to be able to purchase or to rent.
Absolutely.
Versus the builder's perspective, because we have to consider both sides of the affordable. Is it affordable enough to build? So, one of the things that we like to do is to have representatives from these organizations on, including yourself, Christine, to help folks navigate it, because it is such a complex situation. But I think it's one where if we work together, we can navigate through it. Where if you're looking to get connected with like certain cities that have grant programs, I have a lot of resources for that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to rent with the Breeden Company and you're like, hey, I'm balling on a budget, like y'all's website highlights
everything,
every single complex throughout Hampton Roads.
And you can filter by price or what's important to you or whatever it may be.
And get your dogs in there too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your 3 Great Danes in there. Yeah. And I think, Joe, that's a great point, is that, as we talk about affordability and attainability, it is, it's the language, the linguistics of it, and what that conversation is. But I think when you are a firefighter or a police officer or a teacher, you should be able to buy a wonderful house. And sometimes in some of the markets you look at and you just how is this happening? So I mean, eggs are $6 a dozen right now.
Yeah.
And again, we'll look at this in 10 years and be like, $6, that was nothing.
Yeah, that was nothing. Yeah. I remember when gas was $2. I hear that from my mom all the time. I remember when gas was $2. I'm like, okay. That's, all right, Christine, thank you for that. And, we really, really appreciate you, jumping on the conversation today. We'd love to, roll out the red carpet and give you the final word to share the audience with. But before we do that, we got a fun little activity.
Okay.
A fun little game,
All right.
a little blind ranking. Should you accept the game, you get an opportunity to get the red carpet at the end.
Let's do this. I look forward to embarrassing myself. Let's
Perfect.
do this.
All right. And this is kind of in the marketing world. Okay. So blind rank these marketing challenges from 1 to 5 without knowing what's next. All right. First one is a major typo on a national billboard.
Oh. And so what's 1 and what's 5?
1 is going to be the worst, or the one is the one you would prefer.
Okay.
5 is the least you would prefer.
Oh, okay. So we're going 5.
Yeah, 5. Okay.
That's horrible.
Gotcha. Next one, accidentally emailing confidential strategy notes to your competitors.
Oh man, that sounds like well, that's okay. I'd say, 4, it's bad, but my competitors are also my friends. So, we work well in the industry, but 4, that's not good.
Next one, your social media intern goes rogue on TikTok.
Oh, that happens often. And, I work with someone named Dustin, and he goes rogue all the time. Actually, I'll give that a 2 because going rogue sometimes actually works out to go viral and be great.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Dustin.
Shout out
Hope
to
you
Dustin.
Can keep your job.
Keep it together. Keep it in the lines today, Dustin.
Next one, a viral campaign, but for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, that shouts Lindsay Lohan to me. But we're going to go 4.
We're going to go 4. Well, we already have 4.
Oh, wait. Oh, I can't give you the same.
No, it's got to be 1 to 5.
4, 3. So,
So we have 3 and 1
See,
left.
this is where I'm embarrassing myself. 3.
3? Okay. And then the last one, the one you would be stuck with.
Oh.
The website crashes during a big product launch.
Oh, I wish this game is the worst, Joe. So I have to go with 1, but I have just put myself again into another corner.
Yeah. Shout out to the Mindshift podcast. Thank you for these fun ideas and blind rankings. Well, Christine, you've made it to the end of the blind ranking. There's only one thing left to do. This camera here, roll out the red carpet, share with the audience your final message and where they can go to learn more about you and all the things Breeden Company has to offer.
Absolutely. My final message to you is enjoy Hampton Roads, enjoy community, whatever it may be. Get involved, experience life, say yes to adventure. And, the Breeden Company is part of that. And if you want to learn more about our organization, our philanthropic efforts, where to find a home, what we're developing, or if you're looking for a career even, come visit us at www.thebreedencompany.com.
Christine, thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you, Joe. This was a pleasure. I appreciate you having me.